Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not unto your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Good night, everyone. Welcome to season 2 of AS Testimony Talk Show. I'm your host, Akeem Smith. So, welcome back, everybody. So, I must say thank you so much for taking the time out to be a part of my wonderful talk show. So, it is season 2, and in my midst this night, I have a wonderful guest who will be sharing his story. I must say that to my first-time viewers, thank you so much for joining, and to all my viewers in general, welcome to AS Testimony Talk Show. So in my presence, I have a wonderful young man who will be testifying about the goodness of God. He is the former head boy of Jonathan Grant High School. He is an appointed youth pastor at the Potter's Tabernacle of Joy ministry. And I'm so excited that he is the first person who will be kicking off my talk show. And I'm so excited. You all know who I'm talking about. And I'm just so excited. So right now, I want you guys just to comment, send some emoji, send some clapping emoji, and help me make welcome no other appointed youth pastor Roach at this moment. Come on, help me welcome. Hallelujah. Welcome.
God bless you.
Welcome to AS Testimony Talk Show. I must say thank you so much for accepting my invitation. And I must say a wonderful job in this. I think that there are so many persons who sees you as a motivator, or to see you as someone who inspired them. And I must say, keep on with the work that you are doing. Minister, let us get right into it right now, because I know that my guests are excited to hear, about you, to hear how it began and everything. So tell me, who is Rommel Roach, or who is appointed you pastor?
Thank you so much, Sir Smith. And I'm elated to be on the AS Testimony Talk Show. Blessings to you and blessings in this endeavor. And to the viewers who are viewing you live, also greetings. Rommel Roach is a humble embodiment of a young man who is above all things saved, sweetly saved, loves the Lord. I am a native of St. Catherine. I am pursuing a bachelor's I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree at the Michael University. I am the senior director for the Icing Wallace Cancer Foundation. As you said before, I am the appointed youth pastor at the Potter's Tabernacle of Joy, under the leadership of my Bishop Cyril Francis, Jamaica's preaching policeman.
Yes.
And that's about me. A young man who is excited about God, excited about the things of God, purpose-driven, goal-oriented, and believe that the challenges that we face in life either does one of two things: either it breaks us or it shapes us.
That's right.
And that's me. That's my philosophy.
Wonderful. So let us get right into it, because I am excited. I want to know, who is Rommel Roach. So you have pointed out some stuff that, what you are basically doing at the moment. You are, aspiring to be a teacher and everything. Yes. So tell us from the beginning. When you started Jonathan Grant High School, you're also we're also the former head boy. So tell us about that.
I live in Spanish Town. That's where my family originates. That's where I live with my relatives. Jonathan Grant, for me, oh my God, I have many fond memories of Jonathan Grant. That's where I was. I started there after I left Macaulay Primary. I went straight on to Jonathan Grant, and I stayed there. I was the head boy. I didn't just get to head boy. I got head boy when I was in sixth form.
Yes.
Before head boy, I was peer counselor, environmental monitor, student counselor, CAP Senate representative. I was actively involved in devotion. I was a part of the debate, as a part of the music club. I was a part of drama club. I I was a part. I pride involvement. I pride involvement, and I believe that I must be involved in as many things as I can, to get the experiences.
Absolutely.
And so I didn't become rounded overnight.
Yes.
I became rounded because I call it enough in Jamaican terms, if you want to call it enough. I call it putting myself at the place to get experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I must say, you have did a wonderful job in doing that. And I must say, because during our previous interview, you mentioned when you started high school, same time your father went into.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I started high school and I went straight to Jonathan Grant High School. And I mean, the September, the very same September or so, months after as I started high school, my father, for allegations, and I dare put that out,
Yes.
allegations, and we'll just leave it at allegations, was sentenced to he was at Spanish Town police station. He stayed there without trial for, before he was incarcerated.
Yes.
He stayed at Spanish Town police station for some time. And that was the breaking point. That was the beginning of turmoil. I'm proud to say my father's kid. My father has two sons, Mr. Nestle Roach. Yes, he has two sons, my eldest brother and myself. And when he went to prison,
Yes.
that was the beginning of turmoil.
Oh,
that was the beginning of stress.
Yes.
As I remember having events, God bless my mother who grew me, my grandaunt and my grandparents. They had to be my, father figure. I had uncles and Uncle Lavon, Uncle Gart, Uncle Lance. They were there, to provide me with all that I needed.
Yes.
But that father figure was out. And as a matter of fact, my father never came from prison until 2020.
Wow, 2020. So that's
last year.
Last year. So, when you started high school, how old were you at that time?
I 12, 13. So when he came back, I was 19, 20, thereabout.
Wow. So how did you manage? How did you cope?
Sir, manage is not a word.
Because I know you said that your what grand aunt were there or was there.
She was there at the time. As I said, it would have had the psychological effect. I'm not the brightest of kid, but me know me little stuff. Know me little stuff, man. And when my father left, when he went to prison, my grades started to fall. I got my grades went right down to rock bottom. I remember there was something at Jonathan called academic probation.
Yes.
I went on academic probation, and what academic probation was really just to say that, hey, your grades, you're not performing, you're not doing what you are supposed to do. I got in different altercations, and these things happened because there wasn't a father figure there. Can you imagine seeing your father probably once per year?
Yes.
And it's only when the jail or the prison gives the opportunity for you to come. And he was at the general penitentiary, and so I had to go there to look for him. And so it affected me. And even when they had Father's Day, Boys' Day, I remember Jonathan Grant had Boys' Day, and on Boys' Day, your father would accompany you to school.
Exactly. Yes.
I never had no father. So what happened is that my grandaunt, the late Merlin Hunter, and my grandmother, Judith, both of them dressed up in their pants and tall sleeve button down shirt and catch up them here, and they came to support as father. And so this is important, that while life will have its challenges, you have to just get with life and find ways to go around.
That's right, absolutely. Listen to me. I believe that everything in life happens for a reason, right?
It helps, yes.
It helps.
It helps
right?
to shape you.
Exactly. And because who to tell, maybe if your dad was there, maybe you would not get the chance to be who you are today.
Yes.
Because
Motivation.
exactly the
Yeah.
motivation.
Motivation. And their motivation that says my father is in prison, and I cannot put myself in the opportunity to go to prison. Yes. Every time I got upset or something, you know what? My father they are prison and me can go. So that helps to keep you in line. So the challenges and it cannot ever be overemphasized that the challenges of life, they shape you for who you can.
Absolutely. So I want to ask this question. What was life after finishing school and all these subjects and all these wonderful grades, ones and everything? What was life after?
So after I left, and I must say I am eternally grateful to the Jonathan Grant High School staff, teaching staff, auxiliary staff, just the staff overall.
Yes.
I must call Mrs. Reed's name, the security.
Mrs.
Reed, be of yourself, all right? They were parents when I wasn't home.
Wow.
I have to make mention of the English language department of Donphan Grant High School, and my principal, Dr. O'Neill Ankle, he at his time played a father figure. So when I left Donphan Grant High School, I left straight for the National Works Agency.
Yes,
That's where I worked after I left Donphan Grant High School, and I focused on ministry, I focused on involvement, and there were days that I wasn't working. And for the time that I wasn't working, I volunteered my time.
Yes, wow.
I remember there was a point, even while going to John Grant, I was volunteering at Spanish Town Citizens Against Gun Violence. It's a public relation officer. And this is how it brought me to the Knowledge Cancer Foundation. So after I left John Grant High School, I would have been into involvement, I would have been into ministry. I've been to ministry for, like, I would say I've been in high. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, so let us go back a little bit because I want my viewers to also know how did you manage or how did you balance, school, ministry, and also the at that time your dad was in prison because sometimes things like those can affect us mentally, and so how did you manage? How did you cope? Ministry, school, while your dad was in lockdown.
Sir Smith, all I can say is you made a way.
That's right.
When my back was against the wall and it looked as if it was over. It's a testimony talk show,
Yes.
And it was God that made a way. I can't tell you that I did this and I did that, because there were times when it got rough,
Yes.
Ministry, because I've always been involved in ministry. At the age of 15, 16, I had a church.
Wow.
I
at your age?
At age 15.
Wow.
At age 15,
guys, you heard that?
I was the minister of a church in Spanish Town. It was the ministry was Learn and Worship Ministry. And I remember my late pastor at the time, she used to live in the country.
Yes.
And the bishop and founder of the church lived abroad. And so my bishop pastor wasn't able to come down every Sunday. So I was thrust into the office of being a leader, of being a pastor, of being a minister. And so I remember when others left school on a Wednesday to go and stand up over by the bus park.
Yes.
I had to leave to go to run fasting. When I left school in the afternoon, I had to go to Bible study and prayer meeting.
Wow.
Mark, I have my own challenges. My father not there. School is inevitable. School is there. Life is there, but me juggle it. I juggle it. And God would have given me the strength and the opportunity. Absolutely. And while I will not tell anybody that I was the world's brightest, I did not fail. And showed in the end, and this is just let us
Absolutely.
And that's something I believe in. That's my philosophy. I have done that before. I have fixed God business. And this is why when I was leaving high school, I left with ones and twos. I never got a three.
Wow.
And it was not because I was bright. I remember I had physical education exam the morning, the Monday morning, and I was preaching in St. Thomas this Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I went to the exam, and the Lord, I came out with a one in physical education.
Wow.
Thanks to Mrs. Haynes McCallum, Mrs. Spears. One English language, two. I'm not saying this is the world's greatest pass.
Yes.
You know, but it's a pass, and I'm grateful because
right.
the Lord would have done His own thing in His time.
Yeah. That's right, Minister. Trust me, I'm so motivated by you. I wish some of your brightness can rub off on me right now.
Listen, man. It's the Lord.
But not only that, I want my audience to understand that you were also, you brought up in the ghetto, or even no.
Oh, yes.
So how can we forget that?
Listen, man. I hasten to say I'm a proud product of the garrison.
Come on, no, yes.
I am happy, and I don't bash anywhere. But I'm happy that I wasn't living in the residential area.
Yes.
I'm happy I was exposed to ganja, smoking, and I've never smoked.
Wow.
I'm happy that I was exposed to gambling, and I've never gambled. I'm exposed to violence, and I've never been involved in any of that.
Yes.
I'm coming from the ghetto where, and anybody can attest to this, knows that ghetto motivate you.
Exactly.
The ghetto can break you to a point that you cannot come back.
Right.
And the ghetto can motivate you to a point that you will not look back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I took the criticism. Because, get the guys in the ghetto, them I go say something sometime, so Pastor, come and give you one girl. Pastor, right. Come make we burn some weed, and they're gonna try to engage you in some conversation. One of the greatest thing, one of the biggest loudest excitement in the ghetto a young man can have is to say he's a virgin. And I made no qualms. I did not relent in saying, listen, man, I believe in holiness.
Yes. I
believe that in righteous living, sex out of marriage is fornication, and I shall not be caught in that.
Absolutely.
And so this living in the ghetto was not an easy walk over. But even in the ghetto, I managed to let them respect me as a pastor. And so even before an appointed youth pastor, from before I was Brother Rommel, I was being called pastor. And so them calling me pastor means that they have a respect. They saw something that I never see. And I ensure that respect has never dropped.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
I've kept outdoor meetings. I've kept street side meetings. I've kept meetings in the bus park. And all of this is at school in my uniform. I've kept meeting at the plaza under the clock. I've preached there. I remember I go over to JUTC bus park one time, and I went to the manager and I said to her, I said, listen, man, I'm in my uniform and I want to preach 2 evenings. I want some light. Yeah, I want some light. And she said, come for the light. And she give me an extension. And I put out my speaker box and my keyboard and my drum.
Yes.
And I preach and I have service. You understand? There was a point in time even going to Jonathan Grant, and I have to mention Miss Edwards in the talk shop. She helped to push me. Even as a young Christian, and I'm saying this for young Christians who are on this medium and are at church and at school. Sometimes you're afraid to testify. Let Jonathan Grant tell you, Rommel, not afraid. I proclaim my Lord anywhere. I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, because it is the power of man unto salvation. I feel my help coming. I feel the preacher coming.
Okay. So guys, listen to me. I'm super excited. Listen to me. This gentleman here, trust me, he is a power bomb, or I should say he's a bomb. Listen to me. If you ever sit down and talk to this brother, or even, be in the same building with this individual here, trust me, your entire day will be like, full of joy or laughter and everything. But I'm going to take a quick break and come right back. So don't you move. Stay right there. So welcome back to AS Testimony Talk Show, everyone. To all my first-time viewers, thank you so much for joining. Even though I realize that we are having some technical issues, guys, but please bear with us because whenever time guys, people are doing work, wonderful work, then the enemy is going to present himself, and so even though we are experiencing some technical issues, just please hang on there with us and bear with us. All right. So because this person here have a lot to share. So coming out of the ghetto, no, you are an appointed youth pastor. Have you ever seen yourself or imagine yourself having this position rather?
Well, thank you for the question, sir. um from as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to become two things.
Yes.
I was wanted to become a teacher, and I've always wanted to become a pastor. And so I had it planned out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And others wanted to be lawyer and doctor. I just wanted to be a teacher and a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, so I saw it. I probably never saw it so early.
Yes.
But when I realized how nice ministry was, and I realized how involving ministry can be, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna stay right here.
Yeah.
Me not look back, me not turn back.
That's right.
And so I saw it when I became a minister. When I was appointed a minister at the age of 12.
Mm-hmm.
They're just 12, 13. That's
Okay, repeat that so that the audience can hear what you just said.
I got baptized at the age of 5. Let's start from there. 5. So when there are persons that them teenage son that said to them, say, Mommy, I want to be baptized, and they must say, you're not ready yet.
Yes.
Crap. His grace is sufficient.
Yes.
So I got baptized at the age of 5. I started preaching at the age of 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I was appointed a minister at the age of 12. The Lord spoke at a gathering, and the Lord said, you know what, listen, man, I'm appointing you minister.
Mm-hmm.
And so I held on to the title. I ran with the title. And I did what I had to do.
Wow.
I had to do. When I got the office, I began to study the word.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, I call her my mother. She was really my grandaunt, but she grew me, so I call her mother. My mother, Merlin Hunter, was a missionary in the church. My grandmother, Judith Hunter McPherson, is an evangelist.
Yes.
My late great grandparents, Isin and Samuel Hunter, were deacons. At that time, we were going to the Bible Church of God in Railway Lane, Spanish Town.
Mm-hmm.
They were ardent, serious Christians. So I was grown in the church.
Yes, that's right.
I was grown in the church, and I took on the Christian embodiment.
Yeah, the mantle.
I took on the mantle. I took on this whole walk with Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was I conformed, but I became transformed.
Yes.
And so while I do not have,
Minister,
yeah.
I don't want to cut you, but person think that it is hard to be a young Christian. I want you to give your views on that. Listen to me. The Bible says, we're not perfect. We're not perfect.
Yeah.
We all sin and come short of the glory of God.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I do believe that we can live the life that God wants us to live. There are times we are going to slip and fall and everything, but we must not stay down. So I want you to share your views on this.
Being a young Christian is not something that is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Neither is it something that is impossible. But it takes much work. It takes much devotion.
Yes.
It takes much commitment. You have to understand that you are different from the rest.
That's right.
You have to understand that you are not the world. You are a part of the world, but you're not in the world. You're in the world, but not a part of the world. You have to understand that you are different. And so when I came to the realization that, listen, although I live in a sinful world, I have to be the light.
The light.
That was when I garnered the strength. So being a young Christian is challenging.
Yeah, it's going.
Will I tell you that I never had the urges like everybody else? Will I tell you I did not have the feelings and the temptations? I came upon them. Absolutely. I remember one time I preached at a particular church, and when I finished preaching, I gave a young lady my number who asked for it. And when the young lady came home, she started to send me sexual messages to say, hey, I've been watching you while you were preaching, and you know, all that you can think about. And sir, I had to, you know, these were real temptations.
Yes.
That I had to say, you know what? But I recognize that His grace is sufficient. And when Paul wrote that and said, listen, man, my grace is sufficient to keep you, I think he meant every word. God's grace is sufficient. Absolutely. And so you have to depend on the grace of God, on the strength of God, on the courage of God. You have to study the word. You have to be at church.
Yes.
Yeah? You can't go on a party. I don't recommend it. And if you have certain company where you do certain things, listen, man, come out from among them. And be He separated.
Yes.
And that's how we'll make it.
Yes. We are almost at the end of tonight's interview, and I wish I was able to carry on, but trust me, you know, I think I have to set up part 2. But listen to me. I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, let me just share.
But let me say it is not hard to be. Well, it is hard.
But it's not impossible.
But it is not impossible, right? It is hard, but it's not impossible. And so, guys, again, I am having some technical issues. Sorry, but please bear with us. You know, the devil is a liar. But I know for sure that you can hear us clearly. But please bear with us. All right, we're having some technical issues here, but I believe that you guys can hear all what my dear minister are you here. So to comment, like, yes, so we're back. So, however, guys, I was saying before, you know, we passed. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. The little word that says subscribe right below. Just click on that, and so that you can get notification whenever time we're gone live. So, Minister, we're almost at the end of this interview. So no, you're basically you know, attending Michael, you know, to pursue your bachelor degree in language. Tell us about that.
I'm at the Michael University. I'm pursuing a degree in language, literature, and literacy.
Yes.
To become a language teacher. That's my goal. It hasn't always been easy. And who I am now is a result of the Lord. Worker Smith, I used to go with my grandaunt to wash people's dirty clothes, to clean people's dirty house.
Wow.
I went with her so that we could finish in time and get the money. I know what it feels like to sell bag juice in Spanish Town.
Wow.
My grandmother had a little stall in the bus park, and I had to sell bag juice and snow mint. I hop off on and off JUTC buses, selling peanut cake with Miss Spunsy, selling bag juice. Yes.
All those things.
Yes. Wow. And I there was no shame in my game. And I remember one time I went to country to preach St. Thomas, and when I was there, I finished preaching, and I was coming home, and my shoes bottom drop off.
Wow.
My shoes bottom
listen to me. Off. Let me say this. You see, listen to me, to all my viewers. You see, we must not be envy.
No,
envy of our brothers and sisters, because you don't know what that individual goes through. You don't know so many tears that person have cried in the night. Listen to me. Don't you envy of your brother and sister. Minister, go ahead and tell us your story.
I'm coming from St. Thomas. My shoes bottom drop off. I just finished preaching. And one shoes me have. One shoes like me we go school, like me we go church, like me we go funeral, like me we go everywhere.
Yes.
One shoe. My shoes bottom drop off in St. Thomas, and I stopped at the bus stop. And I put my foot on the bus shed, hiding it from some church people that was passing. My foot kick a bag. And my foot kick the bag. I bend down and look in it, and I realized it was a shoes in the bag. And I took out the bag and I put on the shoes. God provided the shoes for me right in St. Thomas.
Just like that.
I don't just like
that.
that.
That's our God is a way maker.
Where you are, where I am now, is not where I was. Where I'm now is not where I'm going. But it was what I've been through that shaped me for today.
Hey, repeat that.
Where I am now is not where I began. And where I am now is not where I'm going to end.
That's right.
It's not where I'm going to end. Not at all. One suit me I come from.
One suit.
One vest with a blue shirt and a pants.
Yes.
And I remember convention was coming up and somebody gave me a suit. And when they gave me a suit and I wore it to church, I heard the person say, Lord, it's a good thing me give you a suit. You never look so nice yet.
Wow.
This is church I'm telling you about.
So let me ask you, because did this person say it loud?
Loud, what you mean, man?
Listen to me. In church.
Church we are talking about. At church we are talking about.
Wow.
Church is speaking about.
Wow, wow.
But I held on to Job's saying that says, in all my appointed time, I will wait until my change come. And because of that, it has taught me there's nothing I wear that I can't give away.
Yes.
There's nothing. The clothes don't matter me. You understand? I have learned, Sir Smith, and I want your members on you to understand that if God is able to do it for this person, He can do it for that. You know,
that's right.
And I say it every day. I say it at my congregation that I'm the assistant, that I'm the appointed youth pastor for. I say it every day that, listen, man, I aspire to bishop.
Come on now. Listen to me. And I believe you are going to be that bishop.
And the Bible tells me, and listen, man, I study the word.
Yes, absolutely.
I study the word, and that is what keeps me. It's the word of God that keeps me. The Bible says, any man desire the office of a bishop, desire himself a good thing. I desire myself a good thing. And so it's my aspiration to become a bishop. It's my aspiration to become a principal. It's my aspiration to become an education officer.
Wow.
It's my aspiration to drive a Prado.
Yes. I was just about to hit. Listen to me.
Write down your aspirations there.
Exactly. And so that, listen to me, we have to speak
that which is not as though it were.
Come on now. Glory be to God.
I aspire to hold a PhD to be Reverend Dr. Romeo Roach. And come hell, the devil or the deep blue sea, I shall be Reverend Dr. Romeo. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something, sir. The way I believe in speaking things into being, when I was creating my email for high school. How long me say? High school. When I was creating my email for high school, my email is rev.dr.roach@gmail.com. Reverend Dr.gmail.com. Speak that which is not as though it were.
Speak it. We have to speak it. We have to listen to me. The tongue has spoken. Power. And so whatever we speak over our life, we are going to come to pass.
We are what we repeatedly do.
Absolutely. And so if we want to live in prosperity, we have to speak in prosperity.
Yes.
If we want to living in poverty, then
speak in poverty.
Speak in poverty.
We have to know what we want. And there has to be a vision. You understand? When David realized that he had Goliath to fight, in weapon.
Yes. Come on now.
Saul put on an armor upon him and he prove it, try. That's what the Lord trained him with.
Yes.
The Lord allowed him to encounter a lion and a bear that came to devour his sheep.
Yes.
And he had to fight the lion and the bear with his hand. That's what the Lord taught him.
Yes.
So when Saul put on the armor, sword, and shield, and spear, David have to put that one side and say, listen, man. When you've been through some things and some people are run up on you and try frighten you, say,
come on, no?
Hold on.
You hear that? Repeat it again.
Yeah, man, you go through some things and some people are running and I make you like they want to frighten you. Say, hold on, little bit, man. We got through that already.
You've been through that.
When you go through some stage of depression and some employer work and try to get to your brain, I say, hold on, man, we passed through more than that before.
Yes.
You know, when you've gone through some trials and some tribulation, when you got too hungry, going to bed hungry, and I say this much, so God be the glory worker, my exhorter Smith, that I never had it all, but the Lord provided. There were days of nothing, and people came calling at the gate with food for us.
Wow.
The Lord provided. So when he says that he will supply our every need according to his riches, he said it and he means means it.
And God's word never lie.
Never lie.
Never lie.
Never lie.
Minister.
Never lie. Never lie. Never lie.
Guys, I wish I had the time to sit and just listen to this gentleman's story here. Listen to me. He is a living testimony, and I am inspired by this youth pastor here. I am motivated by this youth pastor here. You just have to believe and trust God. Listen to me. You see, I believe that even though we might be going through something in our life, we still have to think positive. We have to speak over ourselves and just say, God,
mind be unto you that comes Christ Jesus. The scripture says he will keep in perfect peace those whose mind are stayed on him. He said we must renew our mind.
Yes.
And then we can speak about the power of the mind. It's the power of the mind. In 2018, I lost my mother. My mother died in 2018.
Wow.
And it's ironic, sir, that my mother died 2018. My father came the year after 2019, 2020.
And this is a real mom. Is it a real mom?
My mother that grew me died 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. And my father came right afterwards. Wow. So it was as if God would have just structured the way that he walks me through high school, walks me through sixth form, and usher me into life. And then God said, here what? Go. I am who I am. One, because of the grace of God, and two, because of the tutelage.
Yes.
The charisma, the capacity and the capability of the late Merlin Beverly Hunter. Bless your heart in heaven, Miss Sweet Mother. And because of my mind space. And I say this every day, I'm an advocate for the mind.
The mind, yes.
That what you think about is who you are. So if you think poverty, you are poor. Oh, yes. I am the world's most handsome fellow. And so I apologize, Sir Smith, to you. I apologize to you. I am the world's most handsome fellow. Well, I'm the world's most educated fellow. Absolutely. I am the richest man. Absolutely. I am one that has the anointing. Absolutely. I am who I envision myself to be. And there's nobody as unique as me. You see this big head of mine? God placed it there to make me a masterpiece. Understand me? So call it bossy if you want to call it bossy. No, it is not bossy. Call it cocky if you want to call it that. I don't think so. Call it hype if you want to call it that. I rather to refer to it as speaking that which is not to be. I am my own cheater. Of course, you have to be. I don't depend on nobody to celebrate me. I am my own cheerleader, and I know to celebrate myself. Exactly. And when I do well, I know to congratulate myself. And in the morning when I go before the mirror and I tell myself my affirmation, my daily affirmations, where I tell myself you're above and not beneath. You're the head and not the tail, you're the end and not the borrower. Yes, there was some stuff, but I'm the lender. I'm not the borrower. Yeah. I'm the giver, not the receiver. Come on, no. You understand? And when we get this in our minds, then we are able. God bless you, everyone, and God bless you. To the AS Testimony Talk Show. That's going. Oh my God! I absolutely. I am trusting God. God is just amazing, minister. I think I'm out of words, but you are just awesome. God is. You're awesome, and I know for sure because I can see all the comments coming in right now from our church, from your friends, your family, our church family. They are very excited to hear your story. I am because of God's goodness. You have to give that thanks. I couldn't afford taking taxi to go to Jonathan Grant High School. And so for grades. But listen to me. I know that we're almost at the end, but let us track back or go back a little bit. I remember you told me that you had to even go and van back. Listen, man. I couldn't afford it to take taxi to go to Jonathan Grant in the morning time. And so there was this man, and I say I'm bigging him up, Mr. Yellow. Mr. Yellow from the Windsor Road community. I had to ride in his trunk. Yes. From grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11.
Wow.
I rode in the back of his wagon.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and I had to put my. There was a time when I had to, because I don't want my uniform to dirty. I had to put two cushions.
Yes,
in there.
cushion. Yes.
And when we got on the main road to go to school, I had to lay down on the cushion so police don't see us. Yeah, and when I got to school, Mr. Yellow had to come from around, come open the trunk to let me out. Can you? They used to call me Chunky. But listen, man, let me tell you something. Nicknames only affect you when you make it bother you.
Come on now.
So when they call me Chunky, I say I'm chunky with ambition.
My God. You hear that?
So them nobody with it. They don't bother with it.
Chunky with ambition.
Chunky came out to be head boy. The same
head boy
that Jonathan Grant gave letter that you have to leave. Turned out to be head boy.
Head boy. And no aspire to
today I can tell you I can walk
with your head,
my head high, and I can go to the Jonathan Grant High School, and I have a family there.
My God.
I can't stop saying who I am today is not who I was. Who I am today is not who I'm going to be.
I want you to repeat that what you just said so that this can soak.
Who I am today is not who I was. Who I am today is not who I'm going to become.
Wow. What a word.
Who am I now is as a result of God's grace.
A result of God.
And who I'm going to be is a result of God's purpose for my life.
Woo. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, these are some wonderful words. Guys, I hope you are writing down these wonderful words or these wonderful quotes, I would say, from the youth pastor mouth. Oh my God. I am just, I'm happy, I'm excited. That this show, this interview is a blessing to everyone who is viewing. You might not be commenting, but I know that you're there watching. But all the persons who are commenting, I can see you. I can see you. Thank you. But again, before we close, again, please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share, so that every time we come on live, you can be notified. A notification that, hey, AS Testimony Talk Show is live. Minister, COVID is actually active right now.
Yeah.
What are your views on COVID? You know, because there are so many Christians, and I must say this, and I must apologize to anyone who might whatsoever. But I must say this, you know, there are so many persons on Facebook where I unfriend some person because what? The Bible spoke about false prophet. And there are so many persons because, oh, COVID is here. They are saying, oh, God is giving me this type of word. God is saying this when God is not saying nothing to them. They are using their what? Emotions.
Yes, emotion over anointing.
What can you say about that?
If we're going to speak to COVID-19 and if we're going to speak to, let's backtrack. COVID is a real thing.
It is. It is.
It affects people psychologically. It affects people mentally. It affects people financially. And if you're in a mind job, COVID will affect you spiritually.
That's right.
All right? And so let's take the needed and the necessary precautions.
Yes.
To ensure that we remain safe in this pandemic. There are many things going around, and I'm not even going to venture onto the note of vaccine and who want to take it and who don't want to take it and who believe and who don't believe. But all I'm saying is have a relationship with God.
Yes, and trust our God.
So if you take the vaccine and you don't have a relationship, you're in trouble. And if you don't take the vaccine and you don't have a relationship, you're in trouble. What is then chiefly important is not the vaccine.
Yes.
But the relationship with God. When you have the relationship with God, you can take the vaccine as a
Minister,
booster.
I must cut you again because I was talking to my cousin last night. I believe it was last night. And what we have to understand that the Bible spoke about these things.
Yes.
We are living in the last days, in the end time. So I just don't understand why is it.
I leave it at this, sir. And I don't speak about. There are certain things there are certain topics I don't speak about, and religion is one of them.
Yes.
And vaccine has proven to be the other.
Yes.
But listen, have a relationship.
Have a relationship with the way you
want vaccine, have a relationship.
Yes.
If you don't want it, have a relationship. What's important is a relationship.
Absolutely. So in our closing, what is your final word to all my viewers that who have taken the time out to sit down and watch and listen to you, what can you say to them, are words that they can rely on to go through this new week or through the rest of this year?
Trust the process.
Trust what?
Trust the process. In last year, I stood. It wasn't last year. It was this year. About 4 months ago, I had a rough situation. Somebody who I would have confided, I would have grown to love, would have admonished that person. I would have treated this person as a mother figure, a Christian person. Would have turned against me bitterly.
Yes.
Started to slander, false accusation.
Wow.
And I questioned God, and I said, God, I need a word to carry me through this period. And you know what, sir? I stood in Western Union. Yeah. I stood in Western Union, and the Lord said to me, it's going wrong for the right reason.
Going wrong.
It's going wrong for the right reason. And that's what the word I'm going to leave with you all tonight.
Wow.
The situation that has gone in catastrophe, the marriage that has fallen apart, the relationship that is broken, the family life, some friends who have walked out your life, the job that you lost, the car that you lost, the house that you lost. It is going wrong for the right reason.
Wow. It is going
wrong
for the right reason.
For the right reason.
So even though you might be crying tonight,
it's going wrong for the right reason.
Even though you might have lost your job,
it's going wrong for the right reason. People walk out of your life, but it is going wrong for the right reason.
The right reason. Mighty God, what a powerful,
what a powerful for the right
word. Everyone, we have come to the end of tonight's testimony talk show. Yes, I wish I was able to just stay on for the whole night and just listen to wonderful, brilliant, what can I say?
Humble
servant of the Most
All
High
I
God.
wanted to be Cassie.
Wow.
When I get the PhD, I'll still be a servant.
Oh my God. Guys, so it's such a pleasure having you on my talk show. And I must say, I really appreciate that you accepted my invitation.
Grateful for the invitation. And if there's ever a need for me to share any more stories,
sir, absolutely.
I have stories to kill.
Oh my God! Come on, guys. If you want, if you will like part 2, I want you to comment in the chat and say part 2. Come on. Comment in the chat and say part 2.
It's a result of God's glory. It is a result.
Pastor, you are a true testimony.
It is a result, yeah.
God has blessed you so much. God has opened doors for you so much. Listen to me. Just keep on walking with Him. Keep your head high. It doesn't matter what people have to say, all the negative comments, what people have to say or think. Listen to me. What people say or think of you doesn't determine who you are.
Who have the final say? Jehovah has the final say.
Oh my God. Listen to me. Guys, we're at the final of AS Testimony Talk Show. And I must say, to all of my wonderful fans or my viewers, thank you so much for taking the time, our supporters. Thank you so much for taking the time out to view tonight's broadcast. It is season 2 of AS Testimony Talk Show, and I am so happy that we are back. I know for sure that you are excited that we are back to do the work of the Most High. And even though we were having some technical issues, or we're still having, where the channel, it is breaking up, but nonetheless, you guys heard what this true fellow had said. And so again, before we go, remember to comment, to like, and subscribe. The button, the red button, it is right below. Just click that thing and hit notification bell, so whenever time we are here, you will be notified and know that AS Testimony Talk Show is up and running. Again, guys, thank you so much. Minister, thank you so much for being a part of tonight's talk show. I really appreciate you. God bless you so much. Thank you for accepting.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you so much. And to all, I can see that my bishop was on. Bishop, the preaching policeman is
My
in the
father,
building.
my father,
My father, my friend,
mentor.
my brother. Oh my
my
God.
everything, my bishop.
God bless you, sir. To all, Sister Gail. To, well, I'm gonna call some name. My other father, Wayne Bailey. God bless you. My family, my wonderful sister, Brittany Gale, Taisha Booth, my church sister.
Bless you all.
So many persons are on. My missionary, sister Webster, missionary Webster.
Bless
God
you.
bless you all. I see all the comments. I see everything. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time out to be a part of AS Testimony Talk Show. It was indeed a pleasure having you all on tonight. Listen to me. Stay tuned for next week interview. We will be having our own, another power talk individual that will be in the building next week Sunday, same time, same place. Listen to me, and again, don't you forget to subscribe to this wonderful talk show. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining, and we are out.